This happened last night and I'm incredibly annoyed. I'm a doctor, 34 female, and part of my job entails being on call for 1 to 3 nights a week, twice a month. My fiancé, Dale, 30 male, has been saving with my stepson's mom to buy him a car for Christmas. My stepson, Rex, a teen, has a license already but always has to borrow his mom's station wagon or his dad's beat-up pickup truck. His mom's car is lame and embarrassing, and his dad's can only hold 1 passenger, not practical for a teen. On to the main conflict. Rex texted me yesterday around 12 asking if he could borrow my car after school. His friends wanted to go to the mall, but the bus route was too long. Could they borrow my car? I texted back a sorry, but no, I'm on call again. Can you ask your mom? He says no. I told him sorry, but my answer was still no. I'm sure you'll find a solution. Ask your friends and you can all figure it out. If you see where this is going, you are less shocked than I am. I was up in my home office, the room where I keep my switch, sewing machine and laptop, so not an official office, when I heard Rex and his friends downstairs after school. I was going to see if they needed anything, but they left after a few minutes. An hour later, I went to the kitchen to clean up the empty bottles and wrappers from their snacks. I saw the empty spot where I left my keys, and I began to panic. First, I bolted to the door. My car was gone. In my head, I was jobless with an oncoming lawsuit. I must be ready to drop everything, change into my scrubs and be out of the house within minutes. If I'm on call and don't respond, then someone might die. I immediately dialed my stepson. He picks up and it's obvious he's in a Mal's store that plays loud music. I told him to get his butt home now and he laughed and said I was not his mom. He said he'll be home whenever he pleases. I'm not proud, but I told him that he had 20 minutes to get home or I'll call the police and report it stolen. Rex panicked and said he couldn't find all his friends and get home in 20 minutes. Told him tough crap. 10 minutes later I get a text that he's in the mall parking lot and will be home soon. I phoned Rex's mom and informed her of his stunt. She was madder than me when I told her I was on call. She apologized and promised to talk to Rex and Dale ASAP. Rex came in, threw me my keys and locked himself in his room. Dale finally came home around 8 and said he'd been on the phone with his ex. He demanded to know why I punished his son. I put my foot down and explained I was on call, which meant I needed my car. Rex stole my car. Dale disagrees. His ex agreed with me and decided she would not buy Rex a car anytime soon due to his entitlement. Dale thinks that I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I didn't go to work, so why did I have to threaten Rex? I've only gone in twice this year while on call. Just because nothing happens doesn't mean that I'm always clear. Rex is now grounded. My fiancé barely speaks to me. Asks when I'm going in today, I'm not, and if I will apologize. I'm not budging and I'm still angry that he doesn't get it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your stepson is entitled because he did steal your car. He had another option, but it wasn't cool enough, and he thinks so little of you it wasn't even of consequence in his mind to take your car and throw the keys at you afterward. The threat of calling the cops was a perfect response, because it seemed to be the first time he was shown that his actions had consequences. Rex owes you an apology, not the other way round. Dale is completely off base if he thinks his son did nothing wrong and that OP should apologize. Even the ex thinks he's being 100% unreasonable. What would OP even be apologizing for? OP's fiancé is telling his son that he co-signs his theft and disrespect of OP. Or worse, he wrecked the car and was critically injured. OP got called in to treat someone, stepson, in a wreck but couldn't get there in time to save him due to not having a car. Dale would then be dealing with arranging a funeral instead of a badly behaved, angry teen. What on earth? Your fiancé is a walking red flag. He's a terrible parent and he doesn't even realize it. Stealing a car is a big deal. This is not a grey area. No offense, but you're a doctor. You have your crap together. You can do better than a man who expects you to apologize when his son commits a felony. Update. Am I the idiot for giving my stepson a 20-minute time limit to return my car before I phone the police? So apparently Dale read this on his work breaks. A short time later, I first received a call from Rex's mom, who said that Dale had called her and ranted about how I made him look bad online. She told him that she didn't care because he didn't react the way a good parent should. Dale was so furious that he told her he would call his mother to see if anyone cared about his feelings. Dale's mother handed his crap back to him. Good. She reiterated to Dale that he was not actively part of his son's life until he was 6, so he had no leg to stand on. Dale tried to complain about how unfair everyone was. She shut him up and told him that his son had done something wrong and this was not about punishing him for being a bad father. Dale returned home a little while ago, about an hour earlier than usual. He looked defeated, but he was still short with me. He said he was disappointed that I posted, and now everyone who knows will think he's a joke and a bad father. I didn't think this conversation would end up with my ending the engagement and relationship, but it did. The house is all in my name, so Dale is packing up his crap and crawling back to his mom's house. The wedding wasn't set, so no money or time was lost. Dale said so many things that I didn't even want to write down. This is not the man I have known for 4 years, and I'm honestly shocked at how selfish he is. He said my doctor's money would have to buy Rex a car to make up for all of the hard feelings. Again, I'm astonished at how delusional he is. Also, the fact that he wasn't in Rex's life till age 6 was a huge red flag. He never mentioned it and refused to admit it was a big deal during our argument when he came home. I'm done with his BS. Jesus, hugs, OP. Sorry for something so important to end over something so stupid and ridiculous. At least it showed you before you were too committed what you were getting into. Sadly, however, people like Dale seem to have too much influence on their son's life and end up making someone with the same mindset as them. I truly hope Rex doesn't carry this mindset, but only time will tell. The universe did OP a massive favour here, as there are a few indications that she saw Dale through rose-coloured glasses. I'm also glad the kid's mother is free of him. This guy is a real piece of work. Shocking that he can't hold down a relationship. Hey Dale, I assume you'll be reading this. Are you serious right now? What kind of a milquetoast wimp is afraid to stand up to a teenager when they are a minor literally committing a felony? Stop being your delinquent son's bestie and try to act like a father or at least an adult. I'm so glad she ditched you. You deserve it completely. My grandma, 65, and I, 21 male, get along well. She's fantastic. I love her and look up to her. That's why my perspective can be biased and I need some different points of view. Grandma had 5 children. My dad, 43, my uncle Tom, 42, my uncle Max, 35, my aunt Fiona, 47, and my aunt Sandy, 30, with Grandpa, 66. Grandpa was a terrible father and a garbage husband, an alcoholic who spent all his money on liquor and never supported Grandma while she worked her butt off to provide for her kids as a baker. Finally, she got tired of it and kicked him out in the 90s. After that, she stayed a single mom and only provider. Did he pay child support? No. Did he help her buy a house for his kids? No. Did he ask for custody or try to spend time with his kids? No. He only visited once in a blue moon. Grandma and Grandpa never divorced since my grandma didn't believe in it, and she was always a single mother. My grandma started dating William, 67, 2 years ago, but she didn't introduce him to her kids because she was afraid of their reaction. So I was the only one who knew about the affair. Grandma announced that she was moving to William's house this past July, and everyone was furious and started accusing her of cheating and that she was choosing her affair partner over her kids. She was even hesitant about moving in with William, but I encouraged her because he makes her happy and he's a nice man. It's been almost 2 months and they refuse to talk to or have low contact with her, which is hurting her. She asked my grandpa for a divorce and he got mad at her and accused her of cheating. They were talking crap about her, the 6 at a family dinner. Thus, I told them to grow up and stop acting like kids since they're not. I told them they should be happy about their mom's happiness because that woman dedicated her life to making life easier for them, and it's so unfair that they crap on her while praising my grandpa, who had girlfriends, by the way. They all called me an idiot for not considering their feelings, and they said something didn't feel right about their mom dating at this age. They accuse her of cheating, but that isn't cheating. They haven't been together for around 25 years, and my grandpa had a couple of girlfriends. Yes, they were mad at him too, but it's time to grow up. Am I the idiot for telling them to grow up? I think they need to understand that their parents aren't getting back together, in case they have hope, and that Grandma has a right to be happy. I mean, she did her job already without any help. Not the idiot. Legally, they're separated. Unfortunately, your grandma will have to divorce Grandpa if she does want to have a marriage between her and William recognized under state and federal law. It's not an affair since they're separated. It's not cheating when you've been separated for 25 years. The fact that they think it is cheating is just insane. Did they expect her to be alone forever? They're acting like children and are selfish. Your grandma has the right to be happy at any age. Your family needs to accept that and let her have some joy and happiness in her life when she can focus on herself instead of babying 5 adults alone. I feel sad for Grandma. To realize that she raised such ungrateful idiots, how utterly disappointing for her. Can they even name one instance where their father did anything significant for them? OP, you are fantastic for having your grandma's back. I hope your grandma and William have the best golden years together and that her children get their heads out their butts and grovel at their moms and William's feet for being so stupid. Annie, 27 female, and I, 27 male, have been best friends since junior high. We had different social circles even though we tried to include each other. Annie was part of the popular crowd and has kept these same friends till today. I grew up seriously overweight. I was heavy all through high school and college. I was lucky enough to have Annie as my friend, so I was always included in things. I was always the tag-along. Annie's friends mostly acted like I wasn't there. I'm still around her friends regularly now. About 6 months ago, I made a lifestyle change. I was stirred by being fat and getting turned down because of it. I've now lost about 75 pounds and feel incredible. Annie has been my biggest supporter and was my gym buddy. I haven't seen her friends since January because I was in gym mode. But Annie decided to host a party at her new place. I was invited, but I didn't want to go. I explained to her how I didn't want to have a connection with people that knew me when I was fat. I wanted a clean slate, but she insisted, so I did go. So I posted a gym selfie, unlike me, and one of Annie's friends, Claire, slid into my DMs and said, "Wow, you look so different, congrats, how did you do it?" I explained a few tips and then she asked for my Snapchat. I sent the emoji and never responded again. I showed up at Annie's and suddenly I felt like the new kid in school. All her friends who previously never acknowledged me wanted to talk. It made me angry. One said, "OP, I had no idea you knew so much about cooking." I said, "You would have if you took the time to get to know me the last decade," and walked off to meet Annie. As I was talking to Annie, the friend that DM'd me walked up. She said I looked great and asked why I never gave her my Snapchat. I said because I don't deal with shallow people and she knew me for a decade and didn't want my snap. So that's why I laughed. She excused herself and Annie followed her. I waited outside and Annie came back furious, saying she talked to her friends and they all felt embarrassed. I said they should be because they're shallow. Annie got all offended and said I'm being an idiot. I said she's far too good of a person to have these types of friends and she should be embarrassed. She asked what I meant. I said she has shallow friends who treated her best friend like a ghost for a decade. But now I'm supposed to give them my attention? That she is a crappy friend to me to have kept these friends. She started crying and said something about how I used to have the best personality, but now I'm an idiot. I said maybe I am, but better than being part of a shallow friend group, and I left the party. Annie's sister, who I'm close to, called me today, saying that Annie was upset and felt like she had lost her best friend. But I said some crappy stuff and need to apologize. Am I the idiot? Oof, you are the idiot for telling her she's a crappy friend when she's personally been good to you all these years, as you said. Also, it sounds like you went to this party to be an idiot to everyone. You shouldn't have agreed to go to the party if you were going to be rude to everyone there. It's okay if you don't like these people and don't want to be their friend, but you chose to go, and you couldn't even act civil for the sake of your best friend. You're carrying around this resentment and anger for a decade and now actively choosing to ruin your friend's party. Yes, they seem shallow, but I don't think you're behaving much better. You're in your late 20s. High school was nearly a decade ago. Instead of getting revenge for your high school years, perhaps you should focus on your future. I'm going with not the idiot. It would be best if you'd spoken up a long time ago before these feelings festered into you, lashing out as you did. For that part, you should apologize to Annie. She's been good to you and has always included you. On the other hand, you have every right to feel this way about this group. You don't need these types of people in your life. So I don't feel sorry for them for your reaction, and I don't think they deserve to have a friendship with you. I would say you are the idiot. It sounds like OP has a chip on his shoulder and is attacking people who weren't ever mean to him. OP wasn't their friend. Annie was. While the wider group may not have been super interested in their friend's friend, aka OP, in the past, they don't sound like they were rude or mistreated OP. On the other hand, OP paints a picture of being rather unpleasant and openly hostile to be around in the present. My brother Mark invited his boss to a family birthday party. His boss, who I would call Adam, 55, shows up empty-handed, and the first thing he does is ask my wife, who he has never met before, to grab him a beer. She ignores him. My brother quickly grabs him a beer. Now, this party is a mixture of friends and family, so that's no big deal. People often bring a mixed bag of stuff to barbecue and don't show up empty-handed as Adam did. Adam goes through eating everything, including ribs and steak, not giving other people a chance to taste anything. Finally, he's trying to talk to my wife, brother, and me. My wife is Australian, so when she gets annoyed, she sometimes uses words not really acceptable in American English. Adam said something else to make her angry. She told him, "Just because you're Mark's boss doesn't mean we all think the sun shines out of your butt. You show up eating everyone's food and act like a freeloading clown." Adam leaves after that, and Mark's angry for my wife swearing and dropping bombs on his boss. I thought it was funny, but my brother is mad at my wife, who is now angry, telling Mark not to crap where he eats. Mark is now mad at my wife and me. Some of the family think she was disrespectful to a guest at a party, and it's not like me saying something to her about her language will make her behave better in the future. Not the idiot. Just because he's the boss of one person at the barbecue doesn't mean he rules over everyone else at that party. His behavior was that of a self-entitled idiot. He eats all the best food, expects the first person he sees to wait on him hand and foot, etc., so I say he more than deserved the remarks he got. Or the first woman he sees. I was getting misogynistic vibes from that part. Honestly, I'm trying to imagine any scenario in which I'd want my boss at a family birthday party. What the heck? That's ridiculous. Mark, buddy, what are you doing? You are not the idiot for telling your wife to behave. She's not your child, nor your pet. So why does your brother expect you to be out there with the spray bottle going, "No, bad girl, naughty"? Huh? I can fully understand why your wife went off on his boss to begin with. He sounds obnoxious. If your brother has a problem with your wife, he should do the adult thing and speak with her about it or let it go. It's not up to you to mind her.